All right, guys, it is Sunday night service with Dani
and Dr. Motley.
Oh my goodness, what a week it's been. We are so excited that you guys are on here, and I won't be able to. I went to Party City today. He had no idea. I haven't seen him. I went to Party City today and bought a few things over here. So I love these candy heart glasses.
You know, they look really, they really match it.
We're talking sex tonight. And I mean, this is what, I was a little kid and I used to get these little candy hearts. If you guys are online tonight and while you're logging on, if you like what we're doing, etc., click the like button. What are they called? Emotions?
Yeah, emojis.
Emojis. Click the emojis. There you go. As soon as you get logged on, click the emojis, or if we say something you like, click the heart or what have you. We have got a full hour of statistics and information here. So we're going to get right into business today. Look, I decorated for you. He had no idea. He had no idea that we were going to do this. He walked in and I had this on and he was like, here. Happy Valentine's Day to you, my love. Happy he's my love, but not my love. Right. You know, that kind of thing. Whew. All right. And I got a love shirt on today. I could not find a red one. You would think that Old Navy would have red love t-shirts, but they don't. So anyway, I got a love shirt. I got some love stuff.
Got this.
Oh, yeah, and I'm taking these off.
What are those? How do you get those?
Oh, these are, you notice these. These are flowers from 15 years of being divorced. These are from 15 years worth of dating, right? So from all my exes, I dry them and I put them up there in that.
You have 15 years of exes.
Well, yeah, 15 years of exes, for crying out loud. I've been single for 15 years. So anyway, this is kind of odd. We're doing a talk on sex tonight, and there's all kinds of people on here.
I'm just saying, this is just so great. Look at all that.
Oh, look, there's 12 balloons. There's 12 of these. So I'm going to give these to the single ladies at the office this week
single ladies
that I see, right? All right. Yeah, there's all kinds of great stuff here. So, okay. As I said, if you like what we're saying, or if you're on, click the on button, click the heart button and click the live button. All right. Listen, we're going to talk about sex. We're going to talk about clitorises. We're going to talk about why women are having sex, why women are not having sex. Sorry, you're going to have to get used to this because I'm going to say the word clitoris 100 times tonight. We have one. Women have one. Do you know it is the only organ? It is the only organ that we have in our body that is solely designed for one thing. One thing, sexual pleasure for women.
All right.
It has over 8,000 nerve endings in the end of the clitoris.
What?
Yeah. Why aren't we using it is what I want to know. Why not? As Americans, we are having, he's red as my hair. We are having less sex as Americans than we have ever had in the history of the United States.
Oh, my word.
All right. So I have been reading this amazing book. I'm going to tell you, I've had this book forever. Christiane Northrup is unbelievable. And I pulled out the sex chapter on it this weekend, and it is absolutely phenomenal. But she says, the human experiences that give us the greatest ecstasy and the greatest pain are sex, love, and religion.
Sex, love, and religion.
It's holy to suffer and sinful to experience pleasure.
Oh, my
Amen. I grew up like that.
Wow. Yeah,
right?
Totally.
So the human experiences that give us the greatest ecstasy and pain are sex, love, and religion.
Sex, love, and religion.
Sex, love, and religion, man. That could be a song right there.
That's exactly what I was just thinking.
According to a survey from 2014, fewer than 1 in 4 couples facing sexual health issues feel they can truly talk openly about their health, about their sex issues with each other.
25%.
25%. Yeah, right. So I talk to women every single day about this, and I know I believe it's more than that. Actually, they don't talk about it. Americans are having less sex than we did a quarter of a century ago, with married people showing the most dramatic decline of all. Good. Well, thank God I'm single is all I can say, because I love sex, and I don't. Sorry, that came out totally wrong. I hope my dad's not watching.
If I drink a lot of wine tonight,
I don't have a lot of sex, but I do like it. I'm a one woman person. I mean, one man person. crap. All right, let's keep talking. All right. Okay. So used to, married people had more sex. It was called the married advantage. It was kind of like the tax break you get when you're married, right? You know, you get a tax break. Married people have always had more sex, but they're not anymore. Okay. And we're going to talk about all the reasons for that. And we're going to talk about, I mean, why aren't providers addressing this?
Exactly.
Right? Yes. Now, I don't know if you talk about this because your business is a little bit different as a provider, but I know that in my practice, I ask everyone, how's your sex drive? How's your libido? The words that I hear every single day, and actually Dr. Emsh and I were talking about this yesterday because he's my supervising physician and we met. He said, Dani, nobody's having sex. I said, well, isn't that great? Because that's what I'm talking about tomorrow night. And he didn't even know I was doing this. So he was horrified. Anyway, do you know that there was a study, it was just a population study, nothing major, 1,154 OBGYNs in the Journal of Sexual Medicine, and there is a journal dedicated just to sexual medicine. This was in 2012, showed that 40% of providers ask about sexual problems. I don't believe that personally. No. Fewer, though, only 28% asked about sexual satisfaction. So are you happy? Is it working for you? Are you having an orgasm? Right? Sexual orientation and identity were only asked about 27% of the time, or only 13% of the providers asked about, I'm sorry, 13% of the time did they ask about pleasure with sexual activity. Can you have an orgasm when you are having sex? Is it good for you? That's a big deal.
That's a really big deal because I don't think have you had anybody come in that really says that their providers ever asked them? I've never had anybody say that.
I mean, OBGYNs, you know, sometimes you think that's their job. That's what they should do. Yeah. But they're not asking. And there's many reasons why, right? Time constraints, right? They've got 40 people to see. They do not want to open that whole Pandora's box of, oh my gosh, we're not having sex. They're not having sex.
They're not having sex.
Yeah.
Especially if you're married.
So the research shows women and men want to know this, but want to talk about this, but it's not being talked about with their providers.
Do you think that with that when a person goes in, that maybe those individuals wish that their providers would ask them so they can open up about it kind of thing?
But they're embarrassed to talk about it, right? Yeah. I mean, I'm an open book. This is a part of whole body health, people. That's right. Emotionally, spiritually, physically, mentally, sexually. And this should be addressed. It should be addressed with your spouse or your partner. It should be addressed with your healthcare provider. So I don't have a problem talking about it. But so that's just a little bit about what we're going to talk about tonight. So I'm going to go over what we're doing this a little bit differently tonight. I just want to tell you, if you want to see this like a 2-part series, maybe the male version of this next week or the male side of it, then you need to click your like button or your heart button because there's so much information on this that I worked 14 hours on this. I didn't do anything this weekend but work on this.
You sent those pictures out, and then you were telling me that you sent that thing on the other day, and you had all those books. I was like,
I've never seen anything like it. And then at midnight last night, because I go to bed at 9 o'clock, I'm watching YouTube videos on old people having sex that I shared on Facebook because it's one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life. It's the cutest 4 minutes I've ever seen. So what are we going to talk about tonight? Statistics. I've got some statistics about sex here.
All right.
What is the definition of sexual dysfunction? Right.
Okay, yeah.
What are the reasons associated with low libido? And there are so many. I mean, so many. Okay. Why is sex important? Why is it important? Well, we're sexual human beings. God designed the clitoris with 8,000 nerve endings. I learned that. I didn't realize nobody taught me that at Vanderbilt.
8,000
nerve endings. That's a lot of nerve endings to use.
That's a t-shirt right.
And number 5, why are we having sex less than the generations in the past? And that's interesting information. All right. So some of the statistics. So this is what before we get into this, I ask patients, and you all can click it. Nobody knows who you are when you click this. I don't know. Here's what I run into with patients. Do you routinely go to bed either before or after your husband or your partner gets in the bed, right?
Before or after?
Right? Do you get in the bed before? Do you get in? That's what I thought. Or after? Do you change clothes in the closet because you don't want your partner to maul all over you, right? Well, I told a woman this week, I said, let me tell you something. There's a lot of women out there who'd give anything to have a husband
right.
mauling all over you, right? So, you know,
like
do you change in the closet? Do you change in the bathroom? Do you change in the dark so he doesn't, paw all over you? Do you pretend like you're asleep when he comes to bed, right? Or when he wakes up in the night or in the morning, do you pretend like you're asleep? I know you do, because I listen to it every single day. And the research shows absolutely we're avoiding it, right?
So they practice. Go ahead. They're in the closet. Okay, say that.
They're in the closet. No, they're not in the closet. They're changing clothes in the closet. I mean, you may be in the closet, and that could be a reason too. You're not having sex with your partner. Maybe it's the wrong partner, wrong sex. But anyway, that's another topic for another night. Okay, so avoidance of this whole topic is the death spiral, right? Exactly. In a relationship.
Completely.
Period.
Yes.
Again, it comes back to communication, right? So this type of avoidance, and I've written up, guys, I have got page after page after page. He has seen this. So I've typed all weekend.
Amazing.
It only affects you, right? This type of avoidance not only affects you, because remember, we're sexual human beings. You and me, we're sexual human beings. It affects your partner, right? Because your lack of libido, or you're pushing them away kind of thing, may make them think that something's wrong with them, right? So something's wrong with you. Yep. She doesn't want me. I haven't done well. I don't know, and so they believe that your lack of libido is his fault, right? Yes. Maybe it is. That we're going to talk about it. Maybe it for darn sure is his fault, but most of the time it's not. There could be reasons. There could be reasons, right? So cause patients to throw, or your partners, to throw in the towel, right? Just give up.
Yes.
No longer. And I hear this a lot. I just gave up. I just give up. I'm not even going to approach him anymore or approach her anymore, right? Or worse, move on. Move on.
Exactly.
And I'm very open about this with patients, because I've lived through this. If you're not getting what you need from your husband, from your wife, from your partner, I damn sure guarantee you there's somebody out there willing to give it to you.
Completely.
Or give it to me, or give it to him, or what have you. It works both ways. And that's scary, real life, hardcore, in the heart truth right there. And I remember my preacher at Cross Point 10 years ago spoke that truth to people, and it was a hard service about how we push people. We push our partners away.
So you're saying that one of the biggest things is that when you have to keep yourself in check to make sure that you're not, I'll say, the cause of somebody else's lack of libido. In a sense, like to make sure that they feel accepted and loved, and that you're willing and open.
That's right. Okay. Because as we're going to talk, there are many reasons men and women, mainly women, though, honestly, have low libido. I mean, there's many reasons. So, all right, it's estimated that 65% of people age 55 and older have active sex lives.
Oh, my
65%, I know, right?
Older people getting randy.
Okay, yes, but the research shows that sexual dysfunction is extremely common. 43% of all women have defined diagnosis of sexual dysfunction, which we're going to talk about.
43%.
And 31% of men report some degree of difficulty, whether it's erectile dysfunction or lack of libido or what have you.
Wow.
Right? We are not designed to have a decreased libido as we age. That is a myth. That is a myth. And all you have to do is watch that video I shared last night of that 90-year-old who said, yeah, I had sex this morning. They were 90 years old. I want to be 90 years old. Be the one having sex in the morning. Somebody videos me at the farmer's market, says, what do you think about sex in your old age? Said, I think it's great. I just got up out of bed. I mean, that's how I want to be. We are not designed to have a decreased libido as we age.
No.
Our bodies are not designed, just like we're not designed to break down at 30, 40, 50, 60 years old. Clearly, look, people like this.
It's like a well-traveled road. It's smooth. And
that's right.
So it's just,
Do you know that humans remain sexually active into their 90s and beyond?
Good heavens.
And I didn't get into this, but the statistics on sex in the nursing homes, sex in the assisted livings is huge. Old people are having lots of sex. More than me, I can dang sure tell you that. Good Lord. So anyway, research shows that we're having less sex than other generations in the past. I know you may need some water or something, or I don't know, a defibrillator, right?
I'm going to sanitize every old person's home now anytime I ever go in there and not touch anything.
Oh, it's good. It's good for you. It keeps you young. It keeps you young.
Keep going.
It does. Okay, the decline in sexual activity has been shown to be the sharpest, get this, amongst people in their 50s.
Really?
People in their 50s are having less sex. People with a college degree, people with school-age children, I totally understand that. People in the South, what the heck?
Look, everybody's like.
And those who do not watch pornography. Now, this is from the Kinsey report.
Okay.
Now, pornography is a whole nother ball of wax, and we're not going to go down that road because that destroys marriages as well and destroys libido, right? But here's what they said about the pornography. So it's the highest in these people in their 50s, school-age children, people who live in the South, people with college educations. I don't understand that, but people are having more sex the younger you are, and we're getting ready to share some big statistics on this. Men, non-whites, people with children under 6 are having more sex than people with children over 6. People in the West are having the most sex of all.
Well, because you're in the desert, there's not much else to do, right?
Right? Okay, yeah.
And it's hot and it's steamy. It's just okay.
Some people don't want hot and steam. They're like, get off of me when it's the middle of the summer, you know.
But it's dry
the
air.
West, they love it. They love everything. Those of you that are out in the West, I mean, good. Proud of you. The South is, and those who've watched a little porn movie in the last year. Isn't that something? Those are the people having the most sex.
What?
Right? Okay. So problems in the bedroom create problems in the relationship.
Yes.
Psychological issues, overall happiness, and quality of life. People report, men and women, lower quality of life if they have problems in the bedroom and decreased sex drive. All right. So I have this in bold because this is so important. We do know, though, through research that sexual frequency is linked to marital satisfaction. Okay, so I'm going to say that again. Sexual frequency is linked to marital satisfaction. Okay, but on the upside, couples having sex more than 3 times a week are not happier than couples having sex 1 time a week.
What?
Yes. Now, see, but that's what they report. See, and apparently, if you all think that's true, then thumbs up on that one.
Thumbs up on that one.
I'll repeat it again. Couples having sex more than 3 times a week are not happier than couples having sex 1 time a week. So this talks about the strength of the relationship, right?
Gotcha.
The emotional side of the relationship, what's important to you. Maybe you've got all these great other connections, right? And so it's not, you aren't happier. Well, in fact, we know the more sex you have does not equal the more sex you have, the more money you have. The studies show do not equate happiness.
No way.
Absolutely not. Well, no, college educated people apparently are having less sex and not as happy than uneducated people in the West who have children under 6. And aren't white.
So all the uneducated people in the West are probably the ones that are smiling the most. That's
right. They're the happiest. Okay. So how much sex are people having? This is pretty interesting. The Kinsey Institute, which when I was in college, when I was in graduate school, I did a lot of research on sex in graduate school at Vanderbilt. No. I did it actually on gay and lesbian sex. And yeah, I sure did. And yes, I did. And the barriers that they face in healthcare, right? Because it's huge.
Yeah.
And so that was my area of research in college. But anyway, the Kinsey Institute for Research in Sex, Reproduction, and Gender suggests that age is the variable that predicts how much sex we're having. Okay. Even though it's not supposed to. Because we're not supposed to decline as we get older, right? People between 18 and 29, oh dear baby Jesus, those are my kids right there. Yeah, Harlan, I feel the same way. He just walked up. People between 18 and 29 are having the most sex with an average of 112 sessions per year or twice a week. Oh, Lord, that makes me want to vomit.
Raise your hand if you're having it twice a week right
we
now.
We don't have 18
Everybody give us a thumbs up if you are.
18 to 29-year-olds on here, I don't think. Too many, right? Or having sex most with an average of 112 sessions. I like when they said that, per year or twice a week. 30 to 39-year-olds, which is a big bulk of my patients and who watch this, have sex 86 times per year on average.
Wow.
86. Now I want to see some hearts. I want to see some thumbs up or whatever if you think this is about right, or or thumbs down if that's not right or not.
Exactly.
Which average to 1.6 times a week having sex.
So
30 to 39-year-olds. So this is when people are having babies now, right?
Yep.
We're having children older for the most part. And so apparently they're having sex 1.6 times per week. Now I'm going to tell you something. On the people who have children and who I have in my office, that's a lot more sex than what they're reporting to me.
Yeah.
Okay?
So I'm wondering where the 0.4 of that.
I don't know. But I don't know.
What
I was
happened to
watching
the
Jimmy
0.4?
Kimmel videos last night too about when he asked people how much sex are you having, and the men and the husbands and the wife write it. It is the funniest thing. They're so opposite. How much sex are you having a month? One man wrote 2. One woman wrote 22. I mean, it's really funny. I mean, so we're not on the same page here. Okay. Those people in the 40s to 49 age group managed to have sex only 69 times a year. They didn't calculate that out, but I did. It's 0.75 times a week. Not even one time a week.
I want to say something right now, but I'm not going to. I know what you're going to say.
So and guess what? So those are 40 to 49. They're having sex 0.75 times a week. These are married people. They did not count uncoupled people.
Okay.
The Kinsey report did not report people above age 50. My age.
Why
age.
not?
I don't know why they didn't say why. It only went up to age 49. So I don't know what the limitations was. Okay. Get this. Okay. Women feel the sexiest and the best about their body when they're in their 30s, when they're in their mid 30s. And I believe that. I was in the best. Well, that's right. You should be dating mid 30 girls. So, and I believe that because when I was in my mid 30s, I was in the best shape I've ever been. I was teaching yoga 8-10 times a week. I mean, I was buff and in shape. I felt good about myself. So they feel the sexiest when they're in their mid 30s, suggesting that their confidence levels, right, raise with age. Because when you're those 18 and 29-year-olds, so I'm telling you, sex is wasted on that age group. Sex and hormones and all that stuff. We have all that when we're in our early teens and 20s and all that. And good Lord, you need it when you start getting this age, right? So confidence goes up the older you get, right?
Yep.
But they feel the sexiest, confidence goes up, but yet this is the time when everybody's having children and nobody's having sex.
Yep, I get that.
So it's really a double-edged sword. I mean, it's just so.
Children, good sex.
All right, no, we're going to talk about that. We're getting ready to talk about that right now. Okay, so in a minute. Okay, so this doctor from the University of Queensland studied 500 couples, and you're not going to believe this. So we know how little we're having sex. Let me tell you how long sex is lasting with your partner. So they did a study. 500 couples, right? They hit the timer at the moment of penetration. Okay. The moment of penetration, which is kind of a weird study. But
is that what they named the study?
The moment of penetration, boom, they hit the timer. They hit the timer the moment it was over, right? During the afterglow. Guess what they found out? I wish that there was a way we had a poll on here so people could guess how long the average
sorry.
Oh, that's funny. That may have made the encounter last longer. But I wish you all could guess how long it takes the average couple to complete sex from penetration to finish. Okay. It averaged the penetration to the time the male's climax, which is a whole nother problem here. Time the male's climax lasts anywhere from 33 seconds. Yep, had an ex-husband like that. And 44 minutes to 44 minutes, with the medium time coming in at 5.4 minutes. 5.4 sex. 5.4 from entry to exit.
Wow, that's like pit lane.
5.4. That's the average. So now when you think
out of 500 couples.
Out of 500 couples. Now, when you think about this, the average time it takes for a woman to have an orgasm is somewhere around 44 minutes. That's average. That's average. And it certainly doesn't happen from penetration, guys. If there's any guys watching on here, and we're going to talk about the statistics on why men think.
Down.
Huh?
I'm just writing it down.
Okay. 5.4 minutes from the beginning to the end. So it makes you think, good Lord, you know, if you really like sex and if you're able to have an orgasm kind of thing, just do it. I mean, that's quick. I mean, it's 5 minutes, crying out loud. It's not supposed to be a quickie. A quickie apparently is even quicker than that. That's pretty quickie.
But nature shows, like, men like to go to the store and go right to what they like and get real quick, and women like to browse around for a while.
Well, that's true. And that's the same way in the bedroom. And so for those men who don't think that that's true, you got another thing coming. No wonder she doesn't want sex. There's a whole reason there about that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so we already talked about this. The more money you make and the more sex you have do not equate happiness. So that we've already talked about that. Okay. How long do you think it takes from a couple when they start having sex, right? Whether you're married or not. So I don't want any nasty emails about premarital sex or having sex when you're not married and all that. These are facts. I'm not making this stuff up. How long do you think it takes for couples to, it just wears off, right? The new wears off. How many years do you have of really hot, good sex as a rule? This is what the studies show. I'm not going to show you. Don't look.
Okay. You want me to guess?
Yeah, guess.
I mean, from what patients have told me when they come in, sorry, the average was 2 years.
It is 2 years.
Really?
The average is 2 years. Did you look?
No.
There's a 2-year window of good sex with relationships,
I've had
right?
a few patients say that.
I mean, is that true? Is that true? 2 years?
2 years, which makes it kind of saddening, like when somebody is going into marriage and they hear that statistic that, like, I've got 2 years to, like, be happy.
Yeah,
and
right?
After that.
So, again, here we go. If you don't discuss your sexual needs with your partner from the very beginning, and we're going to talk about this.
That is great.
In the very beginning, what you want, what you don't want, what you like, what you don't like. And I got a whole half paragraph on this over here. I talked about this today with somebody. And so, again, well, yeah, it's going to peter out. Oh, that's funny. It's going to peter out. No joke. Because they don't know, and you get bored, right? And there's nothing worse than being bored in the bedroom. All right. So if you don't discuss this head on from the very beginning, how's it ever going to change? It's not.
So, like, it'd be like, I could see, like, with an interview, like, excuse me, before we start this relationship, I would like, go ahead, I'm sorry.
That's right. Or even during, you need to talk to them and tell them, what do you like? What do you not like? What's good? What's bad? We're going to get to that. Okay. So what is sexual dysfunction? So I hear every day, I don't have a sex drive, Dani. My sex drive, I don't have a sex drive, period. Okay. And I ask patients, you know, there's 2 types of sexual dysfunction. All right. There's 2 kinds of low libido. Okay. There's innate and there's acquired, right? So innate is lifelong, which affects 17% of all women across the board.
Acquired is 17% of women across the board.
No, innate.
Innate. Sorry.
Not acquired.
Sorry.
17%, right, of women with female sexual interest arousal disorder. 17% of women across the board have innate, meaning it was from the very beginning, right? They've never had a sex drive. Now, this could be for lots and lots of reasons. This could be because of, you know, they were told good girls don't, right?
Completely,
right?
Yeah.
It could be a religion thing. It could be, well, they were raped or they were molested as a child or they have anxiety over this. It could be they have OCD. It could be from multiple things. I mean, many, many things, you know, and that's from the very beginning. And I have a lot of women tell me, yeah, Dani, I've never had it. Because I ask them, when we talk about it, I say, well, did you ever have a good sex drive or have you lost it recently? That's what I ask. Many people say, no, I've never had a good sex drive. And then we talk about it. I ask them, were you sexually abused as a child or were you raped in college? Those or anytime. Those are all things that affect a woman's libido.
Do you how many of those people, like when they come in, like on the majority, have you found that a lot of the ladies that have experienced that they were, like, you know, attacked, or a lot of them were?
Yes. Okay. Yes, they were. And then there's acquired. So there's innate low libido from the beginning. Never really have had a good sex drive. You know, I don't know what to do about it. And then there's acquired, right? Okay. So they say that there's approximately 21% of this. Now, I think that's higher. It's a recent event. This has recently happened after something, right?
Okay.
The number one reason for this, from what studies show from the Kinsey report, says satisfaction in the relationship is the most common predictor of acquired low libido.
Ooh.
Satisfaction in the relationship. Right?
So if they're basically mad at the partner or they just can't get along
they may be
with
in love with him, but they don't like him.
Yeah.
That's a big deal. Women don't want to have sex if they're mad at you, right? A man, sometimes they don't care, you know? So, and it doesn't take away their libido, but the satisfaction with the partner is the number one predictor for that. But it could also be, I'm on birth control. Birth control will decrease a sex drive more than anything. Gotcha. It really will. Could be you're sick, right? It could be you're depressed. You're on antidepressants. Mm-hmm. The number one reason women and men both stop antidepressants is because of low sex drive.
Wow.
Right? The number one reason men stop it is for something called retarded ejaculation. They can't ejaculate. It goes on forever, longer than that 44 minutes we were talking about over here. And women are like, dang, stop your antidepressant. This is killing me. So really, no, we're joking about it, but that's a big reason for a low sex drive in men and women. But I don't tell people stop your antidepressant, for crying out loud. Sometimes you have to change. Sometimes you have to, trade off sexual health for mental health temporarily, right? So there's innate and there's acquired. And then the definition for true sexual dysfunction, right, refers to a problem during any phase of the sexual response cycle that prevents the individual or the couple from experiencing satisfaction from sexual activity, okay? Mm-hmm. So there's 4 phases of the sexual response cycle.
What?
If you don't remember this from school, there's 4 phases, right? There's desire, right? Mm-hmm. That's when I see you.
Yeah.
You walk in the door from work all day and you're like, okay, that's the first phase. That's the tingle. That's the tingle that you get down there. Oh, yeah. And then there's excitement. So there's desire. There's excitement. Mm-hmm. That's the erection on the man. That's lubrication on the women. Okay. Right?
Yep.
There's desire, excitement. Then there's orgasm. Okay. And then there's resolution. And that's the afterglow. Right? So, or the end, the cuddling, that kind of thing, hopefully. So those are the 4 cycles. the 4 phases of the cycle: desire, excitement, orgasm, and resolution. So sexual dysfunction is the actual definition of that is you're having one of those four cycles. Something's happening there. Gotcha. You're not on board. You're not feeling any of that. And it has to be for at least 6 months. At least 6 months, right, to actually have the diagnosis of male hypoactive sexual disorder or female sexual interest arousal disorder, right?
Yes.
So you have to have absent or reduced interest in sex, absent or reduced sexual thoughts or fantasies.
Okay. Those
are the 2 that are really in common. There's different ones for men and women, and it has to go for at least 6 months that cause significant distress to the individual. Not related, though, to sexual discrepancy in the couple. So what that means is it's got to cause you really bad problems. It cannot be one of those, well, yeah, my sex drive is low and so is his, and we don't care. Because there are some people who don't care. Yeah. They just really don't care if they have sex, right? That's not true female sexual arousal disorder. Okay.
So they have they're having a problem. They can be in one of these 4.
That's right.
One of these 4. Okay.
1 in 10 women, 16 million, it is reported, meet this criteria. 16 million women meet this criteria.
Good
right?
Gracious.
And these are not all postmenopausal women.
They're
right?
all
these are women
active,
in their 20s, 30s, 40s, right? These are women who should not be losing their sex drive because of hormones and that kind of thing.
On that, Teresa just said 12 years married, and it just keeps getting better.
Oh, Teresa, I love you. And you guys are great. If you guys don't, well, you probably don't know this couple. They are absolutely phenomenal couple. And it is evident by the way he looks at you, Teresa. It is evident by the way you speak with kindness to him. It just melts my heart every time I see them out, and I see them out a lot.
It's so great.
Good.
Oh,
good.
If you guys have questions about what she's talking about, if she wants to clarify, just send them in and I'll read them off and we'll answer those. So don't be afraid to ask questions.
So now down to the nuts and bolts of this, right? That's funny. The nuts. That's funny. Okay.
This hardware sounds so dirty.
I know, right? Why? Why do women have a low libido? And we're going to talk more about women tonight, but some of this can overlap into men, right?
Yep.
I tell women this every day. There is a root cause for your low libido, right? Just like there's a root cause for your depression, your high blood pressure, your diabetes, what have you, your diarrhea, your constipation, there's a root cause for your low sex drive. And those are the things we have to tease out. And the big ones are scared of getting pregnant. That's a big deal.
Very much
you got 4 kids at the house. Every chance you do get to have sex, which is probably not very often from what I'm hearing, and you could get pregnant. The husband hasn't had a vasectomy. I'm going to tell you right now, listen, if you ever have children, time out on this one. This is a big hot spot for me. Okay. Men who refuse to get a vasectomy.
Okay.
Refuse to get a vasectomy. I just birthed 2 children out of my vagina for you with a head this big, right? I mean, something this little and comes out this big, comes out of something that little. And I grew a baby from scratch in there, and you're not going to have a vasectomy because you're scared your balls are going to swell up for 24 hours. I have no tolerance for this. I write prescriptions all the time for men to get vasectomies. I send them home with their wives, you know, so it just infuriates me. So your sex drive is going to go up. You're going to get more sex, dude. When you get married and you have children, you better get a vasectomy, and you're going to get more sex if she knows she's not going to get pregnant.
That's true. You're right. And
I mean, what? You don't even have to do anything. Bend over, snip, and it's done. Bring you home, put you in front of the TV, pack you up with frozen vegetables. That's what I did with my ex-husband. He was back at work in no time.
I'm just afraid my voice will get higher.
Oh, shut up. I mean, I don't have any tolerance for that. So that's a big deal right there. Scared you're going to get pregnant. Well, you know, if you've gotten pregnant 4 times or what have you, every time he takes his pants off, you get pregnant. That's a legitimate reason you don't have a libido.
That's right.
I'd be hiding in the closet too. I mean, if that were the case, right? Past beliefs, right? So I call it the good girls don't syndrome, right? Good girls don't. Yeah. My best friend from high school, I have 2 best friends from high school. One of them, her mother told her this: good girls don't. Yep. Good girls don't. And that's all she got on sex ed was good girls don't. Well, so we've got that past belief, right? Yep. That our mothers threw into us, that probably your grandparents put into them.
Yep.
And we're going to hopefully, though, not pass that on to the next generation of kids. But, you know, good girls don't. Sex is dirty.
Sex is
it's a
dirty
sin,
thing to talk about.
right? And so, oh my gosh, you know, you can't be religious and spiritual and sexual all at the same time.
Oh.
Are you crazy? God designed the clitoris, which has 8,000 nerve endings on it. He did not want us to go around not using it. If you have, I mean, use it with your husband, use it with your partner. You know what I mean? But
exactly right.
Okay. If you haven't read Song of Solomon, if you don't think we're sexual creatures, you should read Song of Solomon. Yeah. Holy cow. I taught a whole class on this at a sexual retreat, women's retreat. Not a sexual retreat. What the heck? What is that? That would be fun. Maybe we should do that. At a women's retreat, I taught a whole thing on sex and what the Bible says about sex. And if you believe in the Bible, you need to read Song of Solomon with your husband, with your partner tonight, because it will make you extremely amorous. Oh yeah.
Quite amorous, right? As if they said
so you know, sex is dirty. Good girls don't do it. I'm going to get pregnant. These are all reasons. You know, shame is a big one. Shame is a huge problem for women and even men with libido, and the shame can come from so many different things. Gotcha. You know, I shouldn't feel sexy. I shouldn't have a sex drive. I shouldn't want sex for many different reasons, right? Problems with the partner. That's a huge one. That's a big deal right there.
Exactly.
Right? If you're in an unhappy marriage, oh Lord, you know, that brings on a whole nother level of stress. And how in the world can you have great sex and be expected to have a libido when you're in a problem marriage?
Is it also too, like when you talk about the shame, like, you know, the good girls say, you know, I have shame because, you know, we don't do that kind of things. Do you also see where, let's say, a husband shames a wife or a man shames a woman?
Oh, I've had this.
shames him like their body because his emotional past.
I've had somebody tell me, well, I've had multiple things happen, say things to me in the office, but you know, where they tried to be sexy, or they did something, they bought a teddy that's normally out of their, you know, or something sexy out of their realm of things they would do, and men have slammed it down. Oh, what are you doing? What are you trying to be sexy?
They need help.
Those guys and so help. Those words, you can't take those back. So they kill it, and they don't only kill it for the moment, they kill it for decades. Because women don't forget, and men either. I mean, this goes both ways. But, you know, those cut deep.
Yes.
Cut deep.
Yes. And as a guy, I'm asking the ladies out there, it has to be quite important for you to feel sexy, to feel like you're wanted, to feel like people like look at you. Because I've had some close friends that are females lately that they said that they actually felt good when a guy does a double take. Like that's to them, even though they may not try to look for the guy, but when a guy does a double take, it just makes them feel good all over. And
I believe that.
There's a question on there. It says, could it be physical too? And by Jess. So
it can definitely be physical, and we're going to talk about that. So, okay, let's see here. Too busy for sex, right? These are reasons people have a low libido. I'm too busy. What the heck? What do you mean you're too busy? Who's too busy? I know, too busy. Body image. And that's a big deal after you've had babies or not. Okay. You're insecure about your body image. Well, I'm going to tell you right now, if he married you or if he wants to be with you, he loves you the way you are.
Exactly.
Now, if he said mean things, that's a whole nother thing. But I listen to men who are in there with their wives all the time and they say, baby, I love you no matter what. So you've gained 20 pounds. So you've had my babies, you know, that kind of thing. But body image is a big deal. Medications, we talked about that. High blood pressure medicine, antidepressants, birth control, those all kill the libido. Past sexual trauma, we've talked about that. Hysterectomy and menopause. Now that is a big deal because out with the ovaries and the uterus and all of that come all the hormones. And that's when your vagina dries up like a piece of rice paper and it falls apart. I'm just telling, I don't know. I haven't gone through that yet all the way, but it's terrible, terrible. And we're going to talk about ways to treat that. It's awful. Like hormone imbalances, things like thyroid imbalances, adrenal imbalances, hormones, neurotransmitters, all of those being off. That can also decrease your libido, right? Social media addiction. The new term by Baylor, I think it's Baylor University, is called fubbing. You're fubbing me.
You're fubbing.
You're fubbing. Stop fubbing me. You've never heard it? Did you not see me write that last time?
Who out there? I'm sorry.
Okay,
who's
this is fubbing you.
Yeah.
This is fubbing you. Not looking up at all. I'm fubbing you. It's a phone snub. It's a phone snub. It's a play on snubbing. Fubbing.
But that makes sense because at every restaurant you'll see people.
Nobody's talking. Everybody's looking down. It's ridiculous. I was at the gym today taking a class. Everybody in there is working out, looking down at their phone. How in the world do you do that? How do you run on a treadmill? Number one, I'm not coordinated enough to run on a treadmill and look down at my phone. Fubbing. Get the fubbing phone out of the bedroom, for crying out loud.
Get the fubbing phone.
Right? Out of the table, off the table while you eat. It's a big deal. You don't think it's a big deal? It is. Trust me. It's taking away your sex drive. I mean, good Lord, if you were a man and thought you'd get more sex more than 1.6 times a week, wouldn't you put the phone down and stop fubbing her? I think that's funny. It's a new word. Okay. Get this. Partner. Another reason people have low libido. The partner's not skilled in the bedroom.
Ooh.
That's one people don't want to talk about.
They're not skilled. 1 in
4 women can have an orgasm with penetration. You know what that means, men? Only 20. That means 75% of all women cannot have an orgasm through penetration alone. So that 5.4 minutes or 33 seconds or 44 or whatever it is for you is not going to give her an orgasm. And most likely. Now, some women are blessed to have orgasms every time they have penetration. Most women are not. And it takes manual stimulation. And we got some research on that back here too. 75, 80%, 90% of the women have to have manual stimulation somehow, oral or manual. So he's not skilled in the bedroom. Don't fake it, women. Here's the problem. Women tend to fake it in the very beginning, right?
Exactly.
That very first time, they fake it. And they continue to fake it. And 75 to 80% of all women fake it. 96% of all men have an orgasm from penetration. 96%. Less than 25% of women are. So if your spouse or your partner is over there moaning and groaning and having an orgasm, most likely she's faking it. Don't fake it. You're not doing yourself any favors if you fake it, or you're not doing your partner any favors. So the first few times you have sex, you need to set this up on the front end. Yeah. On the front end, you need to tell them what you like, what you don't like, what feels good. You need to talk this.
No, I think that would
You're going to take your clothes off for somebody. You should be able to have an honest conversation with them about what makes you feel good.
Totally.
And that works with men too. And as women, we are so uptight about our bodies. If you figure out what you like on your own, right? Yeah. Then you're able to share it with your partner.
I would totally,
right?
Yes.
We're not familiar with those 8,000 nerve endings down there. And that's a dang shame.
Yes.
So if you can figure out what you like on your own, pass it along to your partner. I mean, that's a big deal. I have a friend of mine who told me that it was oral sex. It has been wrong from the beginning. Mm-hmm. She had had good sex in the past. Mm-hmm. It has been wrong from the very beginning with him because she faked it in the beginning. And now 30 years later, they have not discussed this 30 years later. And it's still all wrong.
Oh man.
I'm sorry. I'm not going to live like that. I am not going to live like that.
I would think that's the best thing for a guy. Like if even both man and female, man and woman, that they do discuss and tell each other what they like at the very beginning. So this takes all the guesswork out, you know?
So I met with my ex today talking about this. We sat down at Whole Foods and we talked about this. And this is what we dated for over 2 years. And it's kind of a sad time right now because tomorrow had been our first date. We had our first date, our first blind date. It was 3 years ago tomorrow. And well, our only blind date. But anyway, and we talked about this. And he said, you set it right up from the beginning, Dani, you know, from the very beginning. And he was so appreciative of that. And I don't want to share my sex life with people, but he was very appreciative. And he said, very appreciative of that. You told me upfront what you like, what you don't like.
No, I think that
we didn't get a chance to go past 2 years, so I don't know what would happen, but I don't think it would have gone down any. Anyway, so here's another reason women's libidos are low. Decline in happiness in people age 30 and over. The research shows that people age 30 and over are less happy than they've ever been in their life. So are they unhappy? Here was my question. Are they unhappy because they're having less sex, or are they having less sex because they're unhappy? Ooh. I don't know. They didn't say that, but I wonder. I don't know. Right?
Yeah, they can. Yeah. What do you guys think? Let us know what you think about that one. Probably would help us if people would comment said that.
There's more reasons, but we got to move on here. Middle age and childbearing, those are big deals. That does bring down the libido when you got a bunch of kids running around.
Have enough energy.
But you got to take time, right?
Yeah.
Pornography on the other end of not just revving up the relationship a little bit. Pornography on the addictive end. That is a big reason for a low libido. Low libido for the person who's not addicted to pornography, but a low libido for the person who is addicted to pornography.
So there's like a huge, like both sides. I mean, like both
right.
extremes cause that.
Sure. Yes, absolutely. And, two income families, right? One income versus two income families. There's been some studies on that. I mean, you're working, you're tired. Exactly. You're working nonstop, even if you're home with your children. That's the hardest job ever. Good Lord, I worked so I wasn't have to be home 24/7 because that's hard. That's hard. So there's all kinds of reasons. There's all kinds of, statistics out here, but we've got to move on with this. What are we going to do? What kind of supplements, What can we do? Supplements. Maca. Maca is one of my all-time favorites. Maca root from Gaia. And I don't have it here. It's at I went to the office today. We're out. It's supposed to all be delivered tomorrow. So Maca. Ginkgo biloba. Ginkgo. 60 to 240 milligrams a day. It took 4 weeks, improved all 4 phases of the sexual response cycle. Remember? Excitement, desire, right? Excitement, orgasm, resolution.
Sunshine.
Right? Tribulus, deer antlers, horny goat weed, my favorite.
Hey, I've I've given deer antler out.
Deer antler works.
It works really well.
Yeah, it works great.
They call it Lu Rong in Chinese culture.
Oh, they do?
Oh, yeah.
Lu Rong. Red
Every
clover.
guy named Lou is really happy in China for some reason.
I would think so.
Anyway, let's
DHEA. DHEA is one of my favorites. Now, for me, I couldn't take it, but DHEA, the studies show that anywhere between 5 and 50 milligrams, right? So DHEA converts to estrogen and testosterone in tiny amounts in the body. It's made in your adrenal glands, right? So there's theories on if you're adrenally fatigued, your sex drive is going to be lower, right? If you're low in vitamin C, because our vitamin C is stored in our adrenals, you're low in DHEA. So 5 milligrams to 50. I only have one patient who's on 25 or 50 milligrams of DHEA, and she's watching. I'm not going to say it on here, but she's a senior athlete, and I mean a superior senior athlete. And so she takes a lot of DHEA. Yeah, that's the one we use in the office.
Because remember, like the DHEA, like they talk about, if you have high cortisol, will steal your pregnenolone, which pregnenolone should make DHEA.
You bet.
And if you steal all your pregnenolone to make cortisol, you'll reduce the amount of DHEA you make, and that reduces your testosterone and your estrogens. So your sex drive will tank out.
Yes, it will. Rhodiola, Ooh. One of my favorite adrenal.
I like just the name Rhodiola.
Rhodiola, adrenal adaptogen. It improves your sex drive. It also helps with energy. It helps with memory. You're going to take that? Good. I don't need it. I don't have anybody.
This is a good brand. I love that.
Gaia's favorite. My favorite. They make one called Libido F and Libido Male. And they both have things like maca and horny goat weed in it and tribulus and that. So those are my favorites. Those are at the office as well. Gotcha. Libido F and Libido Male. Things that we do have to think about though, low iron causes fatigue, which is another reason for low sex drive, right? Mm-hmm. Low thyroid hormones, hypothyroid or even hyperthyroid, right? Vitamin C.
You need the vitamin C
again to help the adrenals, right? So wild yam, ginkgo biloba, maca, horny goat weed, tribulus, DHEA. These are all individual things you can do. And they're a supplement. They're a supplement. They don't take the place for all of the reasons that we discussed, right? That you may have low libido. Again, you can't supplement yourself to good sex, just like you can't supplement yourself to good health. If you could, I mean, if you could supplement yourself to good sex, crap, I'd be all over the place over here. So guess what? Prescriptions. Get this. Get this. There are 23 FDA-approved treatments for either erectile dysfunction or low testosterone in men. 23.
23.
Guess how many there are for women?
I'm going to say
FDA-approved pharmaceuticals.
I'm going to, okay, less than 5?
There's one, and it just happened.
No.
Yeah, it just happened. They went back to the FDA, and it did get approved. It's called flibanserin. I can't say it. Flibanserin. I can't say
heard of that.
Yeah, it's Addy. It's called Addy. ADDYI. Right. It was originally developed as an antidepressant. It's been approved by the FDA as a treatment for low sexual desire in premenopausal women, not postmenopausal women.
Right.
So Viagra works on bringing blood flow to the penis. Right. That's what it does. Boom. That's exactly how it works. Blood flow to the penis for sustained erections, right? Addy or flibanserin, that's it, works differently by working on the women's brain.
So
right?
It's all emotional and mental for the women,
bet.
Right?
So the brain is often considered a woman's more important sexual organ.
Oh.
I got this directly off of Addie's website, so I'm completely plagiarizing. Much of her sexual response cycle originates in the brain, right? Excitement. The second we see you, whoo, that's the brain to the clitoris. Okay, it works on 3 important brain chemicals: dopamine, norepinephrine, and serotonin. Yep. Okay, these chemicals are, well, we know those are neurotransmitters, right? They're responsible for sending signals between the brain and other parts of the nervous system to improve libido. Now, I contacted 2 pharmacists today about this. Both of them have never written a prescription. I mean, both of them have never filled a prescription for it. But one, Allen Hill Pharmacy here, and then Mark Binkley. I contacted both of them. Never have. Nobody's written a prescription for it to those 2 pharmacies.
Wow.
If anybody knows anything about this female sexual enhancer drug, which is a true pharmaceutical, not a supplement, you can certainly put your heart or whatever or thumbs up on there. So, Okay, so that's one way to treat it. I've never used it. I've never written it because actually I didn't know until this weekend that it had been FDA approved. It went back after the first round. It failed the first round of trials, and then it went back and it has now been approved. Okay, so hormone-wise, we use bioidentical hormones in the office all the time. I write hormones every single day: estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, DHEA, pregnenolone. These are all hormones that I have compounded and all for libido. Testosterone in women, we give it in creams, testosterone cream, testosterone pellets, right? Which are in your hip. And that's what I have in me. And I love those. I've had those for about 6 or 7 years now. Progesterone pills, progesterone capsules, or progesterone cream, estrogen patches, estrogen pills. I don't write estrogen by mouth very often because it's metabolized through the liver, but there's all different ways to get estrogen as well, pellets. And then for the atrophic vaginas, because this is what we hear a lot, women going through menopause, women who are breastfeeding have very dry, thin vaginal lining, okay? And so we use something called estriol, estriol. That's the weakest form of estrogen, and that we have compounded at a pharmacist, okay?
And estriol means E3 because trial.
That's exactly right. And so, and it stays localized in the vagina, and it plumps that vagina back up quicker than anything. I got a text message this weekend about it. A girl said, "Good Lord, Dani, thank you so much." And it works. It does, plumps it up. And then I prescribe something called Scream Cream. Scream Cream is actually a prescription that I have that I send to the pharmacy, and you rub it on the clitoris, right? Which we shouldn't really have to since it's got 8,000 endings down there. It should be ready to go. But Scream Cream, and the prescription says rub on the clitoris 30 minutes before sex. And I mean, it's like, oh Lord. And so my pharmacist always have to tell the women what to do. Oh Lord, I know they hate me, but it's got all these, it's got a little bit of testosterone in it, and I don't know, arginine in it, and something else that bring blood flow to the clitoris.
Bring blood flow to the clitoris.
Yeah, and women love it. It's called Scream Cream. Ask your provider about it. I dare you.
Cream.
I dare you.
Okay.
Or libido enhancing cream.
Libido.
Oh, that's not nearly.
But it's not even fun
as
saying cream. So like, okay, so when you said, this reminds me when a patient comes in and patients we share, and you talk about doing like a good detox, like follow me on this, like the Metagenics, or we have a detox program, and that makes complete sense because you put a lot of people on there with dopamine and norepinephrine and serotonin, and those hormones are directly affected in the pathway you're trying to heal, like in that homocysteine and that detox pathway. If you heal that up, you'll actually help the gut create those hormones, which could help that.
Yes, you will.
So that helps out with that liver detox. Okay.
So we've got supplements that help it, right? We've got prescriptions that help your libido, right? We know about statistics. You're not the only one not having sex, people. It's a chronic problem in the United States. So what are we going to do about it?
And a lot of people are really, I would suspect that people can be a little bit embarrassed.
Oh, they're all very embarrassed about it, which is why I love it.
I guarantee people on here that when they're joined, they're like, I'm not going to ask a question.
Oh, good Lord, no, I don't even. I hope they can't tell I'm on here. Oh my gosh. I'm not hitting that button for anything. But anyway, this is a big deal, and we should talk about it. I'll tell you what, you go to premarital counseling, right? Premarital
right?
They should be talking about after baby counseling, and what do you do? You know, they're trying to get you to not have sex before you get married. Well, that's good. That's all good. But they should be talking about what happens after you get married and you don't want, and you're not having sex.
And that's like,
that's a big deal, and nobody talks about that.
And that's why
it's all fun and roses and games until nobody wants sex.
Until they get, you talking about like in South Africa, where they did the Votiva, like, right?
Yes.
You're talking about doing that therapy to help them feel sexy again and feel good again. And that.
Well, I don't know if they did that in South Africa.
No, South Africa. You said like in a country where after a baby.
No, that's not Votiva. That's my Vadsy
The steamer.
My Vadsy.
That's the steamer, okay? Yeah. But the Votiva though would be something like you say after that.
For
tightening.
Yeah, for tightening and getting more blood flow down there to the clitoris. And yes. What are we going to do about it? Talk about it with your partner, for crying out loud. Talk it out. Do not put it on the bottom of the totem pole priority list, right? So here's what I tell patients who believe in God. Here's the order. It's your God, your spouse, and your children in that order. And we've messed it up.
Yep.
We put the children before everything else. We put the children before God. We put the children before our spouse. Well, let me tell you something. Your kids are going to grow up and leave. If you're lucky, they're going to grow up and leave, and it's just going to be the two of you, if you've even lasted that long.
Exactly right.
Because you have put your kids before everything else.
Yeah.
Get those kids. Here's one thing. Call a babysitter. You guys are going to have a date night. Well, a lot of people have date nights. They go out and eat and they're too tired. They don't even have sex, which is great. You're talking. You don't always have to have sex. I mean, you do not always, but we're talking about sex. So that's what we're going to assume we want you to do. Call the babysitter. I read this week. Call the babysitter. Have the babysitter take the kids out.
Yeah.
How about have sex before you go out? Before you're tired.
That's a good point.
How cool is that? I never did that.
You probably enjoy your wine better too after that because you're just nice and smiling and happy.
Absolutely.
And you do that.
Right? Go to a sex therapist or a marriage therapist, but a sex therapist. You know, we have a sex therapist in this town. Her name is Betty Tyndall.
Betty Tyndall.
She saves marriages. She saves lives. I have used her for 8 or 9 years. Her daughter's a buddy of mine, Betty Tyndall, and I'm going to give you her phone number if you want it. It is 615-661-0255. Betty Tyndall was on Dr. Phil, she and her husband, as the oddest couples. Her husband was one of the preachers at Crosspoint, right? One of the founding pastors, Tom Tyndall. And then Betty Tyndall's a sex therapist. And she reminds me of Barbara Streisand from Meet the Fockers. Oh my gosh. She will get your marriage back on track. She will talk to you guys. Maybe you haven't considered going to a sex therapist. Well, I'm telling you, this is just like regular therapy. Therapists are designed to pull out questions, to ask you questions, to put things out there that you may not have thought about. Yeah. Right? Yeah. And so I'm telling you, she gets people's marriages back on track and gets their sex drives back on track. I love her. Call her. She is amazing. She's she is. She's a grandmother. She's older. And that's what she does and she's a Christian therapist. I mean, her husband's a preacher. So she's a Christian therapist. She's absolutely phenomenal. They're going to challenge you. A therapist will. They're going to give you tasks to do. If your marriage is worth saving, then by Guinea, start talking about it and get to a therapist, for crying out loud, because it just gets wider and wider and wider. This huge elephant in the room.
Yes.
Right?
And you got to be able to talk about, so to pull out the most,
we've run over. I'm sorry, guys. We were going to have this over with. I'm almost finished.
It's already 8.
I know, right? Wow. Okay. So are you cultivating sex outside of the bedroom? Right? Are you taking time to show affection to your partner? They say sex starts in the kitchen even before we leave work, right? A little pat on the butt. We don't have anything to do with each other. But anyway, little pat on the butt before you leave. Text him, sext him through the day, right? That's serious. These are things that, what's the first phase of your sexual cycle? Excitement, right? Oh my gosh. When you get a text that talks about sex or says, I can't wait to get your clothes off you, baby, come home for lunch. I'm going to tell you, if he's within a 30-mile radius of home at lunch and he can possibly get out of that meeting, he's going to come home. If he thinks you're ready for him at lunch, he's going to be there. He's not going to turn you down. No. And how fun is that? Oh my goodness, how fun is that?
You want me to read this?
Huh? No, I got something I'm going to do.
Sexting is
right?
Okay.
Sex. So afternoon sex, right? Have the babysitter, right? Take the kids out. Schedule sex. If you have to, if it gets down to it, schedule. Whoops. Schedule sex.
Schedule sex.
And stick to it.
Stick to that.
Try something new in the bedroom, right? Get out. I wrote this out. Get out of your same-sex marriage.
That's
so
good.
You know what? Right,
yeah,
right,
that's good.
You aren't in a same-sex marriage. Get out of it. The same sex over and over and over again. People get bored. How many of you, you don't have to hit the button. It's the same thing every dang time. Flip over, stand up, whatever. It's the same thing. It gets boring. Get out of your same-sex routine.
Fast food sex. Stop it.
Okay. Women are not having orgasms with 75% of penetration. All right. Okay, here we go. Men think women do. I wrote, this is not a porn movie where everybody has an orgasm from penetration, right? Yeah. It's not. No. This is real life.
It's real life.
Yeah. Most people aren't.
And hopefully give some of the guys out there a little bit of peace of mind knowing that it has to be, you have to work up to it,
That's right. Yeah. So here's the thing. It's not about how, I have something I was going to find you all on here. It's not about how often you're having sex with your partner. It's about how satisfied you are in this season of your life, right? Mm-hmm. So sometimes we can't throw it all off on him or her. Are you happy with your life? Mm-hmm. Are you happy with who you are during this season? Gotcha. And every season changes, dude. Just like sex seasons. And you're going to go through dry spouts or spurts or valleys or whatever it's called. Every season changes. Libidos are like seasons. They change with age. They change with stressors. They change with careers. They change with childbirth, mm-hmm. right? Aging parents, finances, health issues. But if you have a solid marriage mm-hmm. or a solid commitment, you don't have to, I mean, if you're not married, right, and you're in a committed relationship, those things may put a little bump in the road, mm-hmm. but they only make your relationship stronger, gotcha. Right?
Yes.
And you got to talk it out.
Yeah.
You got to talk it out. Because when you have sex, I mean, women tell me all the time, I don't know why we waited so long. I always think this whenever, we after we have sex, it's like, oh my gosh, it's so good. Why did we wait so long?
Yeah.
Right? Why did we wait so long? So you know you love it. Many of you do. And if you don't, if it hurts, if it's painful, those are all things that we can address and we can deal with and mm-hmm. talk to your primary or just talk to your provider about it, right?
Yes, definitely.
Get off the phone. Stop phubbing each other.
Stop
right?
phubbing.
And that's PHUBBING.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And again, eating well, sleeping well, pooping well, moving well, decreasing stress, and having community. Those are all pieces of the puzzle, because when any of those are out of balance, your sex drive is down as well, exactly. Right?
Yeah,
okay.
Totally.
So I said one thing here. Okay, what else? Do you have anything else to say?
Oh, man, I would say that just exactly when you were describing less stress and yes. how to I guess from the biochemistry side and eating well and having good community, make sure that your stress is low. I mean, the yes. number one killer for libido is going to be your stress. If your cortisol is high, you will have low estrogen, and you have to have estrogen to have a sex drive.
Yes, you
do.
So
if you don't have estrogen, you're going to have dryness down in the vagina. And so first off is check out your stress levels and find out what causes you stress. Dig down deep. And like Dani just mm-hmm. said, are you happy in this present time? That means, are you present?
Yes.
Are
yes.
you here right now? Are you always up ahead in the future, or are you in the past? And that's where it all starts, because what does cortisol respond to? If I'm worried about the future or if I'm ashamed about the past. So you got to think of those two things, and you got to pray about it, meditate about it. You got to find a way to talk about it. So
that's exactly right. So I said, so for those of us who aren't married, mm-hmm. right? We may not have love on this Valentine's Day, right? But we are love, right? We are love, and that's good. That's enough. I love this song. I loved this song as a kid. I used to sing Afternoon Delight all the time as a kid, and I had no idea what it was talking about. Everybody loves this. I'm telling you, Paul and Tom.
I'm thinking of Will Ferrell right now.
All right. All right, here we go. We are designed sexual human beings. We need to be all that God designed us to be, right? We need to use that. We need to use it appropriately, right? Yeah. Not inappropriately. But we're designed for sex. We're designed as sexual human beings. We are sexual. We are sensual. And those of you that have lost it, those of you that don't think you can ever get it back, I know you can. It's going to take some work. It'll take some hard work. It'll take some looking that husband, that partner, that wife, that spouse in the eye and having the hard talk. But it's worth it. I can't imagine living in a sexless marriage.
No.
And I can't tell you how many people tell me they don't have sex. Years without sex.
Yes. And it's
worth it. If you are in a marriage that you want to save, for crying out loud, then have the hard talk and get back what God gave you, right?
Totally. Be present. Always, it's not a give and take. Remember, it's unity, it's balance, it's yin and yang. It's like as they input into your life, you input into their life.
That's right.
You have to think it's just energy that's just keeps cycling, and that's how God created. Whether what your religious views are, if God is love, He designed us to love each other.
That's right. And if you walked down that aisle with that human being and you made a horrible mistake, then I'm not about staying in something you made a horrible mistake in. But I've done that, and so I got out of that one. But if you walk down that aisle and you married the love of your life and you're going to stay in it and you want to be in this and you can't imagine being with anybody else, then why the hell wouldn't you have to talk? Why are you changing clothes in the closet?
Exactly right. It's like having an instruction manual right in front of you about how you can have success all your life, and you say, well, I'm not going to read it. It's like, I'll just pass it along.
And I get it. I was married. I had 2 little kids, 19 months apart. They're nursing constantly. They're always on you. They're mommy, mommy, mommy. They're spit up on you. You smell terrible. All of that mess. I get it. They're all over you all the time. And the last thing you want is somebody else, right? All over you.
All over you.
But I'm telling you, you got to rethink your priorities.
You do.
And it's got to be your God, your kid, your spouse, and your children. And you have to rethink this. Because I watch marriages fall apart every single year in that office that didn't have to fall apart.
That's exactly right. You got to take care of yourself. You have to basically be present, take care of yourself. We've been preaching all the time is that you have to take care of your body in all aspects, like she said, not just one area. Because if you don't eat right, and you don't take good nutrition, and if you don't keep a less stressed life, it's going to be very hard for you to have a libido, especially in Franklin or Nashville, Tennessee, if you're out there, or any big city you live in. It's just constantly go, go, go.
You're right about that. Hey, there was a website I found that is fantastic. It's greatsexguidance.com. Greatsexguidance.com. Unbelievable. This is a man, and he's done all this research on sex. Absolutely phenomenal website. So that was great. We have lots more. If you want to see us have a part 2 to this, maybe, or have a nighttime session at the office, you can hit your little smile thing or whatever, because this is huge stuff. This is big. This has affected couples and people for thousands of years. So we'll never get to the bottom of it. It's like weight loss, for crying out loud. You know, weight loss and sex. Those are 2 things that people struggle with all the time.
Women is the third one.
But if you want to see us have something at the office, like we may do a 2-hour workshop, like a big deal workshop on this. If you're interested in that, then hit your heart button and we'll do that. Or you can email us. But this book right here ticks off a lot of people, The Proper Care and Feeding of Husbands. But I'm going to tell you something. If I ever get married again, this is going on the table. I'm not giving away rice or whatever, or silly things, whatever. This book is going to be on the table for everybody there. She will make you mad as a hornet, but here's what she says, and we'll end this on this. You know, if you're a big women's libber, you're not going to like this book, but, you know, women's lib has not helped us in the bedroom. I'm sorry, it hasn't. But she says that as women, men are very simple. Men are very simple. Really, really and truly. They want good food. They want good sex, and they want to protect you. They want to protect you.
Men do want to protect.
They're protectors by nature. And what do we do to these men? What do? We emasculate it, cut them off at the knees, man, at the balls, cut them right off. You know, if they come home from work, they don't want to be assaulted at the front door. You know, well, why didn't you call all day? Why didn't you text all day? Why didn't you do this? I would have done that. Well, why'd you say that? You should have done this, et cetera, et cetera. They have worked all day long, just like you, whether you've worked outside the home or you've been home with children all day. They want some downtime, just like we do. I never thought of this. 20, 30 minutes, whatever it takes. Let them go, do their thing, get something to eat, change clothes, hug on the kids, what have you. But we really do cause a lot of problems. We do. Because if you will, if you can feed them well, you don't have to cook for them. I mean, that's nice. But if you can feed them well, you can have great sex with them, because you two have already talked about this, and you let them protect you. She says they're putty in your hands for the rest of your life.
I'm telling you, the guys do want to protect you.
We're ball busters. I am one of them. I am a type A. I'm an alpha male, a female, probably male too. I don't know. And I know that. And that is a weakness of mine. That's a problem for me. And I've worked on it through the years. I am kinder and gentler. But if I'm ever lucky enough to get married again and do life with somebody for the rest of my life, I have learned these things. And this is important. I'm telling you, this book is an easy read. I've given it to lots of wedding presents. It's great. There's another one. She wrote another one, The Proper Care and Feeding of Marriage, too. But I'm telling you, this one hits home. And this one, reading your mail, is fantastic. Men are visual. They're visual. Yes. That's why when you walk by them, start naked, they're visual creatures, right? They love it. Am I right?
Yes.
Yes. So when you hide in the closet and change your clothes, right? Yep. You're taking away something that, of course, excites him. But again, so anyway, these are some things. But guys, happy Valentine's Day. We ran way over. Thank you, Beth. I think you're great as well.
Yes.
I think you guys
are awesome.
Y'all have said so much. Yes, this is being recorded. And you can share it or you can listen to it. And I realize this is an hour and 15 minutes. We didn't mean for that to happen.
Before we go okay, so you have some stuff over here. So you're going to tell me what these things were.
Oh, it's national.
We're going to go. I know if you guys just sign off.
If you guys sign off. It's National Peppermint Patty Day. I got you a peppermint patty.
Aww.
And I got you some dark chocolate because Lily's is my favorite. And these both are non-dairy. You get to pick. Do you want blood orange or do you want what have you?
I would like to get I'll take the blood orange.
Oh, you do? No. Yeah, take the blood orange. Yes, perfect. Aww. And I bought my own candle today. Whoops.
Did you?
Hang on. I bought my own candle today. And can you move over? Yeah. I bought my
look,
see why I don't have a husband?
Yeah.
I bought my own 24 roses today as well. You know what? Because I don't have a boyfriend or a lover or what have you this year.
Valentine.
I don't have a Valentine this year. So I bought a Love Heals Everybody candle from Thistle Farms.
It smells.
Isn't it amazing?
And
I bought my own roses. So if you don't have somebody out there, do something for yourself. I have dark chocolate. Those of you that know me, flowers, candles, chocolate, and wine. Those are 4 things that you could always give me, and I will be putty in your hands.
Just putty.
All right, guys. Have a great night. It's Sunday night. I know we were in competition with the Olympics tonight, but I appreciate you guys
watching. We're missing curling?
Curling. Yeah, right. I don't know what curling is.
Any exciting things going on? You can tell me about
everything's exciting. The Yoni chairs have been delivered. I got to have them redone, though, because he's having to take the arms off because, quite frankly and quite crudely, you can't spread your legs in them. They're too narrow. So we all sat in them. There's 4. I had people in there yesterday. You can't if you can't open your legs. If you can't open your legs on a Yoni chair, it does no good. You can't sting your Yoni. So I'm so excited about this. The chairs are being redone. They'll be redelivered next week, and then we're good to go. I'm excited.
My
Anything
word.
exciting with you?
It's just going to be a busy week. We've got, just going to be filming some different things about Lyme, but I'm saying this has been one of the toppers. So quick, I want to say a nerd time. I just thought about this though. When you said Viagra, okay, yes it is. Do you know on Viagra how they found out about that or how they invented that? There was a scientist who was trying to find a pesticide that would kill certain insects. So he had this chemical that would go in and it would engorge the insect with its own blood. It would actually bust open the arteries of the insect. So he took that formula and gave it to people because our arteries are thicker and can hold more pressure, and that's how Viagra started.
Are you serious?
Yep.
I had no idea.
I think he was Swedish or something like that. You guys can research that. But yeah, I think he won a Nobel Prize for that. So,
wow. Well,
pesticides help us in some fashion.
Oh yeah, right. Oh look, Lisa Sharber said I made cookies for you, Dani.
What about me, Lisa?
So much. I'll share them with you.
Aww.
Yeah, this is the first Valentine's in 3 years. I haven't had a Valentine, but
we'll be each other.
It's a whole new season for me. It's a season of it's just a season. I'm a little kinder and gentler, and I'm putting a lot of energy into work, which is exciting. And I leave for New York City next week. So I'll be gone for 5 days to the Integrative Healthcare Symposium, and I'll be doing live feeds all through the symposium like I did last year. So it's really huge.
Do a live feed where you go through the city, and then I want you to. I wish I could eat there, but I want you to take a live video of Shake Shack as you go by down there, because I know we're getting one, but
we are. I didn't know we're getting Shake Shack.
Shake Shack. Yeah, I can't eat there, but I really think it's great. So.
All right, guys, we appreciate you. We love you. Happy Valentine's Day. Next week, next Sunday, 7 o'clock, we'll be on here. So you can share these. All these videos are archived, so you can actually share them however you want if anybody's interested in listening to it. But we love you. We have so many great things in store for you, and thanks for putting up with us talking about
Happy Valentine's Day. Bye.